You can just tell it like you're talking to it.
Okay,
Well,
yes.
that's what I did upstairs.
That's right. It's that you can just talk, Grandma. Pretend that it's not even on.
Yeah.
But you know which one Sharon wants to tell you.
Mom, why don't bring this? Okay, why don't you tell us about your singing debut at age 5? When you were, before you went to school at Forester Hall. Tell us that story.
The sound.
Well, I remember it very well. That's something I remember very well because I was, you know, real aware of that. I guess must have been my big sisters that thought I could sing. And I wasn't even in school yet. So it was kind of a big deal for me. But I remember going out there and singing, and I have no idea what it sounded like. I have no idea. But I like to boast that now. You know, that's my boast.
Were you on a stage?
Yeah, right. In the old Forster Hall where we gave school plays. So there's a school play going on.
I remember the first hall.
Yeah, right. But I wasn't in school yet, so.
What song did you sing?
I sang I Throw a Kiss to Daddy. And I got the music yet. I can show it to you. Yeah, I throw a kiss to Papa. No, it wasn't Daddy. I throw a kiss to Papa. That's what everybody had to call their daddy then.
Yeah.
That's what my dad wanted to be called. I don't know if we called him that or not. That's what they liked.
Yeah.
And
That's interesting.
that's the end of the story. It's just that I did it before I was in school, so I kind of make that my boast, you know. Believe it or not. But I do have the music.
Your early debut.
Yeah, my early debut, and that's probably the end of it, Chris.
You don't remember how it went or anything?
I don't remember the response to it. No, I remember being out there doing it.
Can you sing it for us?
In my voice now?
Yeah.
I can't sing anymore, but I can make it in tip.
Yeah, do it.
Let's see. I throw a kiss to Daddy, to Papa.
Papa.
When he gets off the car, he must have went in some kind of transportation to work. And, he holds me way up highly. I am the shining star. So, let's see how the next line go. I might have to get the sheet music out if I have to sing it for some reason. See, I used to remember it. Anyway, it's that type of song.
Yeah.
I think that there are Papa's, but none is quite so good as, well, that's the way it ends. None is quite so good as my Papa when he gets off the car. He holds me way up on my ankles and the shining star. I think that there are Papa's, I can't remember the rest of the line. Sorry, I can't make that.
That's all right.
That was a complete flop.
No, not a complete.
Now, when you were dating Dad, Mom, tell about the 2 incidents. One was the roller skating up to Almsville, and then the homemade carved skis up at Silver Creek Falls.
Well, there isn't too much to the story of the skating because that's the end of the story. I don't know who was with me either. It was another girl. It's probably one of his sisters. I don't know. We did all our roller skating on the highway then because you know there wasn't the traffic. I would skate to school and skate home. It was fun skating home. You know, it's all downhill.
What kind of skates were they?
Those what'd you call them?
Metal?
Metal. Yeah, it was metal.
Metal wheels.
Yeah, metal wheels.
Roller skating.
Roller skating, yeah. I was a great roller skater.
They
So
clamp
was
on your
Ernie.
shoes?
Yeah.
They clamp on your shoes, Mom?
Yeah, they clamped onto your shoes and strapped on. And then there was a time going on when we all, the whole town, the city kids all got together in front of Ditter Square there, you know, that part of the sub. And we'd have a skating party right out there in the street. Yeah, right.
Wow.
It was fun.
At night?
Yeah, at night. There was very little traffic.
Do you have any music to skate to or anything?
No, I don't know. I don't remember any music. No, it's good. I love to skate.
And then one time you held on to the back of
Oh
the
yeah, and
car.
one time
You hitched a ride.
some other girl with me. I don't know who she was. we just got on the back of somebody's car. They knew we were there. And we said we're going to hang on the back, and they took off for Amsville, and we just hung on the back the whole way up Amsville. It's about 4 miles
Yeah.
With roller skates.
with roller skates. Yeah.
They didn't go that fast, right? I mean, they went
Oh,
well. I mean, they were
well,
going
we-
fast enough.
We went like about 65.
Yeah, yeah, right.
No, I don't know how fast we went.
Then what about the Silver Creek Falls ski trip?
Well, when Ernie was in the store working, he had a little extra one, you know, he wasn't that busy, and he decided he'd make some homemade skis. Go ski.
Were you married at this point?
Yeah, we were married. I don't, when we lived, I don't know what year it was, I can't tell you that. But anyway, I can remember him curving those things. He was pretty proud of them, you know. I don't know where he got the part to the bottom either. He put a strap on him. One Sunday afternoon, a bunch of us kids all went up to Silver Creek. Well, we didn't go to Silver Creek Falls, but one of those hills
Right.
shortly before you get there. It's a pretty steep hill. And we stopped there and we decided we'd use that hill. And I didn't know a thing about skiing. I'd never been on a pair of skis, you know. And one of the boys knew a little bit about skiing, so he took me on a little tiny hill and showed me how to go down it first, you know. Get me used
Now,
to
did
it.
you have poles?
No,
No
just-
poles.
No poles. But we went down those little hills to.
How did you attach them to your shoes?
Well, they had a strap across. You
Just
just
to-
slipped in
yeah.
like you do
Oh, yeah.
shoes they wear now. They just, you know, slide in. And I was very determined to learn stuff. I was real determined. I was
Yeah.
going to learn how to. And I said to myself, I want to go down this hill, this big hill, before I go home. I want to say I went down it once without falling. Because I just kept falling and getting up and going back, you know, like the kids do.
Uh-huh.
I was determined, and lo and behold, I did. I mean, down
Oh,
that big
wow.
hill one day. That's another one of my debuts.
Yeah.
A song on the stage.
How old were you then?
Well, I was married. I don't know.
So yeah, you were.
Now, did you ever have
Well,
another
because while he
pair
had
of
the
skis?
store though, so that was early.
Oh, so it was early
in
then.
our
You were
marriage.
probably 19 or 20.
Somewhere in there, yeah. Because he wasn't in the store that long.
Huh.
That's about the story of the skis, because I said, this is the most wonderful thing to do. It's summer, it's fun. I have to do it again. We waited for snow. No snow.
Never came.
Went over, tried it over in Tom's woods, and there was just a little snow on the ground. I kept hitting rocks, you know. We just couldn't do it. None of snow. None of snow.
So that was your only
That
real
was, that was the
ski.
only skiing I did, but one day. But I went down that hill, without falling. Victory for the day.
Yeah.
Now, Mom, tell us about when you were the most frightened in your life.
Well, I think that might have been the most.
When you were a
frightening.
little girl with the bull?
Yeah.
Tell that whole story.
I don't know how old I was, but I was with my family, and I must have been pretty young, picking those wild evergreens down in the woods. And they didn't take drinking water down. They forgot it or something like that. And they thought they'd send this youngest one home to get the drinking water because I wasn't picking that many berries, you know, that age. So we used to let the cows, you know, roamed around through the woods too. But in that group, they had this bull that was loose too, you know, and bulls were killing people.
Really?
The dairy bull, probably, wasn't it?
Well, it was a Guernsey bull,
Yeah.
and it was fairly tame, you know, and it was loose. It wasn't on any kind of,
Yeah.
you know, just with the cows.
Yeah.
And I get out of this lane where the cows walk up to the barn, and this darn bull started following me clear from the woods down there, clear up to the house. And he's about like from me to you, you know.
Behind you.
Behind me. And I keep glancing back real fast to see what he was doing, if he was coming after me or not, you
Yeah.
know. Just scared to death.
Really?
Scared to death. Yeah, I was. I was frightened.
Well,
And-
Mabel's
and-
dad had been killed by a bull.
Yeah, right. My
Very
friend at
sad.
school, her dad had been killed by one of
Oh, so that made it even scarier.
Yeah, right.
Was that recent? That was right.
Well,
No.
I don't remember if I was thinking about that, but I knew bulls at that time were killing people.
Hmm.
You know, and I was
they
scared of
send
this
you?
bull
I
being
can't
loose.
get over that.
And I, all the way up, I was frightened. I was really frightened. And a bull just walked slowly behind me, that same distance, all the way up.
Like you said, Jim. Right? He's
How
just
old were you
curious.
then?
Well, I don't know, I was pretty young because.
Why'd they send you if they knew the boat was?
Well, they didn't
Maybe
believe
they
it was
didn't
real
even-
dangerous because it probably hadn't been.
Was there a problem with bulls then, that they were killing
Yeah.
people when you said?
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I knew they were
Mabel's dad
dangerous.
was killed
Yeah,
by
right.
Mabel across the
Her dad-
street.
Yeah, you never left them loose out with the cows, I don't think. I don't,
Unpredictable.
we used to have ours on a chain, you know, on a,
Oh, really?
yeah, on a wire, you know.
Yeah.
that could walk.
They could walk back and forth.
Entirely loose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And I just thought, this is no good, this is no good, this is bad.
Huh.
And I better not run. I don't wanna run. If I run, he'll
Go
run,
run, yeah.
you know. So I said, I'll
So you're
just
smart
walk
enough.
like I'm not afraid at all, you know, and I was
Mhm.
being very brave. Kept that distance, kept glancing back.
Mm.
Pulled and followed me all the way home. Now I told my mother and she had a fit. They let me,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
I bet.
I don't think I went back with the water. I don't know what I
I doubt it.
I didn't know the bull would follow me back.
They can come and get their own water, huh?
I don't remember the rest of the story. I
Yeah.
don't know what, oh, they got their drinking water.
Huh.
For me, I don't think. No, that was frightening.
They ran out, that's all. They didn't die.
All right.
It wasn't life or death.
No,
For them. For you, it might have been, but.
Right.
No, no one was hurt. No one was harmed. No harm done. Just a frightened little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Now, Mom, when you were a young wife and mother, all through the years you were a wife and mother, you had a particular chore for each day of the week. And I want you to tell us about, every week was the same, and you were home. You were always home. And except for sometimes on Friday night you went dancing. That was the big thrill. And church on Sunday. But other than that, you were home. And tell about what chore you did each day, and especially describe in detail how you did your laundry.
Well, you know, I figured out that if I had all this work to do, that I had to make a schedule and stay with it. You know, I'm a scheduled person. So every Monday it was wash day, regardless. You know, Monday you get all the wash done. Tuesday I would iron, and I had big ironings then because you ironed everything then. It wasn't like wash and wear that we got now. So I had a big ironing, and people were always saying, oh, I got all this ironing at home in the basket, you know, all wrinkled up. They were always behind on their ironing. And I thought, they'll never hear that from me. It'll be done on Tuesday. The ironing will be done. And on a Wednesday, it was good to wash again because the kids only had like three underpants, one on their body and one in the wash and one in the
drawer.
in the drawer. They never asked for clean socks. It was those 3 pair that were there.
Kept it up, so you
Well, it was Depression time. You didn't have extra clothes. They had 3 each,
Mhm.
three things, so they could change. So on Wednesday, I washed again. So then the wash was back in the drawer, and
Now, Mom, just a
and-
minute. When you wash, tell about the washing machine.
Well, the wash-
Tell how you hung the clothes up and you were so proud of those white diapers
Oh, well, it was a big
along the
thing.
road.
Yeah.
And then what did you do with the wash water after you were finished, and how you would water flowers, conserve the water?
Oh, yeah, I was save water all the time when I was young.
Really?
I saved water. My mother was into flowers, you know, and she carried all the dishwater through the house, out the side to a plant, to water a plant out there. I'll just never forget her doing that. And the water was a real special there. And every summer for 3 days, the well went dry. You know, we had wood walls.
So you had to pump water.
We had to go down to it's in that lane, that ugly lane where I had to walk up. There was a well down there that would kind of fill somewhat every day. It was more of a better
You use
well.
buckets to get the water?
We had a well down at the barn. It went dry. This well that we had here under the porch went dry. So 3 days we had to carry water from that. Every summer we went without water for 3 days. And so I learned to save water when I was young. And so when I got finished with the wash, why, that would all be, did I carry mine out? Did I
Yes, you
carry,
did,
I
Ron.
carried my water out to
You
the
can believe
flowers,
it.
like my mother did?
Maybe it was your mother, but
It was
first
my
it was
mother.
used to scrub the porch, and then finally it was used.
Oh, that was our bath. That was a Saturday night bath.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about the bath
that was
again,
the
but
bath.
finish your routine, your weekly routine.
Oh, yeah, okay. If by Wednesday, if they were ready mending, I usually did it that same day with that wash. And if it was back in the drawer and all mended, I was on schedule, see? And the house could be dirty, but that wasn't on my schedule. And I had kids. No, I didn't do what wasn't on my schedule. Because if I did that, I wouldn't have had that washing done, see? So that's the way I operate.
Right.
And so the
Very
wash is
wise.
done and it's ironed and it's all back in place and they all have clean clothes to wear the next day. And so I'm on schedule. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
You know,
The
and
house
then I
is a
have,
mess, but she's on schedule.
that's right.
It's very good. Because you could go to
And
bed
then
at
what was on Thursday? Thursday was my off, it didn't have any schedule on Thursday. Thursday was an open day that I could do the
Catch
things
up.
I didn't get done or catch up or if I wanted to
Clean house.
clean any special thing I wanted to do it on Thursday. Friday was start over with the cleaning. It was the upstairs on Friday. The upstairs got all vacuumed, beds got changed, all the clothes got hung up that were on the floor. Mike was a neat one and Ken was a neat one. Say, wait a minute, which one was the neat
I
one?
think I was.
Ken was the neat one.
Ken isn't here to speak for
Ernie went up
himself.
there one day and he said, I wouldn't put up with what you do, and he threw all those clothes out the window. I was sick in bed. But see, I picked up on Friday, hung up all their clothes and changed the beds and,
I think I hung my clothes up.
well, I
Ken
don't know
was
who
the
did it.
neat
There
one.
was, there was plenty of clothes on the floor.
And then, what about your baking routine? How often did you
And then
bake bread?
when did I clean the downstairs? So, did I do that on, Saturday was baked those pies, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Of course, bread was baked every other day.
How many loaves did you bake every other day?
At least 4. 4 was the minimum.
Mhm.
Every other day.
Every other day.
Every other day, because we had homemade bread all the time.
And then what did you make on Saturday for Sunday dinner?
I made, I had those pies that I had for Sunday. We have a cookie thief in the house.
Yeah, the person making all the commotion is Ron Borges. Like we wouldn't know.
Somebody wants a cookie.
On Saturday, I can't really recall Saturday except baking pies.
We
And
took baths.
Sunday.
Saturday was bath
Saturday
day.
was bath
Once
day.
a week
Saturday
bath day.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Once
Saturday
a
was
week
bath.
Tell Lori that. Lori, did you hear that?
Once a week.
Lori, listen,
Whether you needed it or not.
Once
Whether you needed it or not, Saturday was bath day.
Saturday was bath day.
But when I was a kid, that's the good bath days. You gotta hear this, because it was a wash tub sitting in front of the kitchen oven, you know, the stove, the kitchen, the stove oven for heat, you know.
The wood stove.
Wood stove, yeah. And then you put the first kid that came along in it, and you put the second one in the same water. You added a little hot water from the tea kettle for the second kid, and if you were the third or fourth one, you went in line to use that same water for 3, 4 kids. And then it got carried, and then it got pushed under this table here, right, this table right here. Got pushed under there. This is Saturday, and Sunday morning they would scrub the floor with it, the older ones in the family scrubbed the kitchen floor.
This kitchen.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just Lenore.
Right,
no,
but it just happened.
This kitchen, yes. They'd scrub the floor with that water. Then we had to carry it out on the flowers.
Really?
Yeah. Now that's making good
Isn't
use
that
of the
right?
water, isn't it? Yeah. There were at least 3 or 4 kids that got baths in that same water with just some hot water added.
Yeah.
And my
So it wasn't cold.
sister Clara was the one that did the bathing. And she was the official one, and she scrubbed you good. And my mother had, you know, my mother did it a time or two when she wasn't here, and she just kind of threw some water over us, and she says, "Oh, that's good enough." And I said, "I didn't get a bath." I called her on it. I said, "You didn't bathe me good." and my sister Ann was the head washer, and oh, she really was. I had
Clara scrubbed the bodies and Ann scrubbed
I
the
had
heads.
something on my head that she called a baby something. And she worked and worked on my head, and I thought that was
It
torture.
was like the child production line,
She
right?
was
Yeah.
finicky about Ann, you know, about dirt. She wanted to get that all off of that head of mine. So she was the head washer, Clara was the baby. Now where were we?
Well, Mom,
And then my kids, of course, got a bath in the we had the bathtub then.
right, and I think they were up to twice a week.
Well, they
It was still one.
yeah,
We
they
were
got
once a
pretty
week.
dirty, I don't know, they got,
Whether they needed it or
it
not.
wasn't
Whether
every
they did or
day,
not,
that's
that was
for
the
sure,
funny
but,
part.
Yeah.
but they
But we
got pretty.
had
I
one
didn't
bath.
think I needed it.
Oh, we wanted a bathtub for 9 kids.
Now.
Well, yeah, we had the same when they got in there now,
Yeah.
when my family, the bathtub that's in there yet,
Mhm.
yeah. No,
Mom,
but I could have
tell
gone in a
how-
wash tub, you know.
Tell how you did not hardly ever grocery shop because your groceries were the things you made or produced. And-
Well, I didn't know, but my folks.
Yeah,
My
tell-
mother had a
tell
big
about
garden,
that.
see, she was into gardening and flowers and chickens, and she wasn't too clean a housekeeper. She wondered why her girls all kept better house than she did, because she was with chickens and flowers and garden, you know, just working all day practically.
What year is this, Mom?
Well, I
Roughly.
roughly would have been in the
20.
20s,
Yeah.
you know, in the early 30s, you know. We married during the Depression, 35. And so the grocery shopping didn't buy much out of the store, so that's the reason I didn't learn to cook with all this stuff. My mother cooked just what she had in the garden, just a vegetable, and the meat, they often had some meat of their own. We'd can it, you know. My mother didn't can meat, I canned meat.
But you canned meat, canned how much
But
fruit
they-
and vegetables did you can each year?
Well, that whole fruit cellar was filled, if you know where it is. It was
Oh, yeah.
filled on two sides, this side and that side.
Kinda empty now.
Bring the thing in it, some on the store.
Just lacking.
Yeah, I canned
So
a
you
lot.
didn't eat a lot of cheese
No, we didn't have cheese at all because we didn't have cheese.
because you
So I
couldn't
didn't-
produce cheese.
No, we didn't produce cheese, so never bought cheese. I never grew up with cheese. I didn't know any cheese recipes. That was something new.
Isn't that interesting? So it's
Yeah.
just the
See,
meat
we had our own
and the
milk.
vegetables?
And my mother, we churned butter.
Yeah.
Churned butter, and gosh, sometimes you churned and churned and churned, and my mother would say, well, the cream isn't just the right temperature or the right oldness, and it wouldn't go into butter. So we churned and churned and churned, and I thought it was a forever job when you were a kid. You know, you
Yeah.
churn that stuff, and you
Still see
think,
that.
but she made it, washed the butter, and we had the homemade butter and
Homemade bread.
homemade bread all the time.
Homemade jam.
And then
homemade
when she got a little weaker like I am now, and she said to me, why don't you work this bread for me, you're stronger than I am. See, she couldn't work it very good. So that's how I learned to bake bread. You know, I had to do it for her because she couldn't. And she had the everlasting yeast, you know, so you didn't even have to buy yeast. You used the potato water and kept
What
it
is-
going.
What is everlasting yeast?
Well, because you just keep adding some sugar and some potato water to it, and it keeps
It's a
fermenting
starter.
on its own, a starter.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you never had to put yeast in it. That was your rising.
You had to keep making it though.
Yeah, the oftener you bake, or if you didn't make it, you had to dump some out and add some new sugar, and so it didn't get old on you, and then it wouldn't work anymore. You know, because
And then when you went to school, Mom, you had jam sandwiches. And you wished so much you could have a banana or an orange. Tell
oh,
about
and
what
those
did you
bologna,
take?
those bologna sandwiches that my friends from Staten had.
Used to hate bologna.
See, they
Bologna
would
of all things.
Yeah, really.
And they'd have a banana.
And
And I
she
had
wanted
these
Jam.
jam and homemade jam
And bread.
and homemade bread and cookies. My mother always had cookies baked, and they'd be in there, and I'd let the cookies in there. You see, when you got them all the time, you don't appreciate them.
And she wanted
And
You
then,
wanted a
and then
banana.
Ernie's sisters would nag me after school, you got any cookies, got anything left in your lunch pail? And they'd open it up and eat all the cookies out before I got. My mother had cookies all the time. Anybody that came had cookies, yeah.
But you just wished for
But I watched
bologna or a
those
banana.
bologna sandwiches. I thought, huh, well, they must have money.
That's for the rich, yeah, that's for the rich people.
Yeah, that was for the rich
Isn't that
people.
something?
I know.
Because we never had bologna out of the store. Imagine liking it that well. Yeah, what you do when you remembered that, I wouldn't even have thought of that.
I forgot thinking about.
I can see them yet standing there with that banana. And I'd look at them in the store and think, oh, I want a kid for a banana. Never had a banana. Now they tell me to eat one every day and I cannot. Sometimes I can't stand the look of a banana.
Oh, you can?
Well, because they want me to eat them for the potassium that,
Oh, yeah.
you
Now
know,
she
and
can't stand
when
it
you
she was little,
should
she
eat a
wanted
banana every
so
day.
bad. Or
Yeah,
It's
balloons.
something
I
you
love
have to
bananas,
do.
yeah.
It loses its
Jam
appeal,
sandwich.
doesn't it?
Mm.
Even if you like it on something, when you're supposed to eat one all the time.
Smash it and put it on a piece of bread.
Oh, I do all kinds of tricks with it. I stick it in some yogurt, you know, and try to eat it that way. Because somebody said that. Who said that? Somebody told me.
I probably did.
Told me they put it in yogurt. I thought, well, I'll try that. I get away with half a banana sometimes, every other day. See, the boss is looking at me.
Or an orange, Mom.
Well, you know, they both lose their appeal when there's something you have to eat.
Yeah.
They do. You
Yeah.
don't get them very often. You appreciate them more. But it becomes a medicine when
Right.
You know what she used to call it? Paper. You used to make your dolls. What was that, Mom? You used
Oh.
to make your dolls? Paper
well,
dolls?
everything
You
I
didn't
had.
have paper dolls, so
No, I
you
didn't
cut
have. I
them
didn't
out of
have
a
any. I didn't
magazine.
have anything bought.
You didn't even have one doll, did you?
I
Of
didn't
your own?
No, I didn't have a doll of my own. I inherited my sister's doll, and it had a cracked head. And all,
Cracked
I put a cap on it most of the time because this was all cracked.
Its brains
It
are
got left.
coming
It
out.
got left on the bench up. I didn't leave it there. I think she did. I don't know. Maybe I did. But it was left on the bench upstairs, and the window was open a little bit, and it rained on it, and then the whole head was cracked all over. I didn't like its head. It was all cracked.
But you played with it
But it
for
was,
years.
oh, it was a special doll. It had a stuffed body and a porcelain head, you know. And, yeah, I played with that doll all the time. But it wasn't really mine. It was her old one.
What'd you do for paper dolls?
For paper dolls, we cut them out of the Sears Roebuck catalog. And my sister Christy was kind of crazy of mine. She told me she made the houses. She had a seat, like a couch, made out of some colored cardboard once in a while. It wasn't heavy cardboard. It was lightweight cardboard. She'd have a couch and a chair, and she put me on to that trick. And you'd have a couch along here and a line of chairs here. That would make the room. See, that was the room. And then you had these dolls out of the Sears Roebuck catalog. And they'd sit, you know, you'd bend them and they'd sit on the chair. And you had a little cardboard box was your chair. And it had those little seats in it, and then you put them in there and they go for a ride in the car. Go all over the front room, you know. Have a house over there and a house over there and a house there. Well, this visitor is going to go visit this. It's just this makeup stuff, you know. You sort
Well,
of,
Mom, you did not have very many playmates. In
I
fact,
didn't
you
have
you
any.
had no grandparents and no cousins to play
yeah,
with.
we came out here and I had, yeah, right, no cousins. Everybody in school had a grandma just about. They talk about grandma. All the books had grandma in them. Grandma and go to grandma and grandpa's house. And I thought, I just wish I had a grandma and a grandpa or an aunt or an uncle or a cousin or.
But you had none?
Because everybody, it seemed like everybody was talking about my cousin did this or my uncle or my aunt. No, we had no relatives out here. Okay. No one.
But your family was
So we got acquainted with, of course, the Shreveys down here, and that house isn't there anymore. But that was the closest one I could walk to. You know, it was, well, it's all in houses now, the Shrevey edition. It isn't called the Shrevey edition, is it, Jeff? No. But there's houses in there now, but, in Bernadine Shrevey, they were two old maids in that house and a bachelor. And they were old-fashioned, but I got acquainted with Bernadine. They came down here and got eggs from my mother, 'cause she had chickens, see. They'd come once a week with a gallon bucket and take a gallon of eggs home. Sounds funny, doesn't it? Gallon of eggs.
It does.
But I got Bernadine for a friend, and she was 4 years older than me.
And Mabel?
No, Mabel wasn't in the picture then yet. This is early, before even school. I got acquainted with Bernadine Shrevey, yeah. And she had a creative mind. She really did. And she set us up for all kinds of... And my table was a bushel box with a pink paper on it. The paper was a newspaper. They had colored paper. Part of it was colored. And when you had a pink one, you saved that. That was your tablecloth, you know, for the table. And that little room upstairs, it's a bathroom now. That was my little playroom. That old trunk that who took?
Genevieve.
Genevieve wanted it. That was my doll bed. I made a bed on it. I made a thing on the top for that, on that old truck, and that was.
But Mom, your family, like Clara and Christina, everybody used to sing and were pretty musical.
Oh, yes, it was a musical family.
Musical family, and you were always singing here, and
Yeah.
you get together.
My dad played in the organ, he never had a lesson in church.
Hmm.
I didn't know that till later. He didn't talk about that when he was here. And my sister Clara played the organ in Portland in church, and she never had a lesson. And
You
she
used to
learned
sing a
classical
lot.
music too. She played that Robin's Return I was trying to
Mm.
play, and I can't anymore. And her girls are, well, Mary Claire isn't, but Mary Claire's kids are musical.
Oh, they are.
They do the music in church.
Mm.
It'll be, and all the girls played the piano, yeah, all of them. And Christy played like Ted and I do. you
Ted
know.
was real,
And Christy was good at that kind of music.
Ted.
She never had a lesson either. And I didn't want the lessons, I told you. I was undisciplined. I wanted to just do it. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty, my mother loved the music too. And that room that's over there now, that TV room was the parlor then. And that was, just had the piano in it and two little rocking chairs. You
Mm.
don't have one of the rocking chairs, do you?
Well, I have grandma's.
You have that, oh, you have
I have
that?
grandma's.
Yeah, she's got one of the rocking chairs. And Jeannie Etzel has the other one. The two little rocking chairs, and it had a rug on the floor, and the piano, and then all her ferns. See, my mother was into flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Ferns all around that room, all around all the windows. My dad would make stands for them, and one fern was as big as tall as the room on the floor and hit the ceiling. Yeah, she had good luck with her ferns. They were her pride and joy. But that room was just special if you went in there to play the piano. You went in there, you know, part.
Music room, part of it.
Yeah, but that's where the older girls all played the piano. And we did a lot of singing. I mean,
I remember that.
You remember singing?
Oh, totally. I remember singing they'd all get together here. I remember you singing all the time.
See, I don't remember that too much, but
Oh
Claire
yeah,
tells me
every
we sang.
time when they came down from Portland, you always were singing, playing piano and singing.
Well, there wasn't so much entertainment then, you know. That was your entertainment. Yeah.
And Ted, Uncle Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, and Uncle Ted was, or not my Ted, Brother Ted was real musical. Any instrument he picked up, he never had any lessons. He'd learn them some way, you know. Drums, mandolin.
Hmm.
We had different instruments. If you learn them, you know, after a fashion.
Hmm.
Charmaine, I don't know if you know Charmaine, Kathy. Ted.
Yeah, yeah, it
Rosemary.
was music. I can't think of, maybe you think of any more? I didn't tell these all at one time. I told them bit by bit.
I know. She remembers them though.
I would have never thought of some of these things anymore.
I remember that whole line being when we were
Oh, the lunch pails.
lunch pails. She'd have
Well,
lunch
see,
pails
Ken wrote
lined up.
about, Ken wrote a cute poem about that. It's in that book in there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had these black, you know, these black lunch pails. I think there were 5 or 6 of them when the kids were all going to the berry patches and to the cannery, and I'd fill them all the night before. And Ken had that about those lunch pails lined up like, what do you call them? I don't know. He's got a cute poem. You can read it, and it's about those lunch pails. I'd make the sandwiches, wrap them, and put them in the refrigerator. And then in the morning, all I had to do was fill the
The thermos.
thermos and or whatever. Must have been milk. It was a thermos bottle.
Hmm.
And then put the sandwiches in the lunch pail, close them up, and send these kids on their way.
Up to the berry patch to work.
Get rid of them.
Berry patch and bean patch.
Yeah, there was a lot more work for kids then. There were strawberries to pick, there were
Beans.
beans to pick, and
Ate a
now they
whole-
got machines for all that. See, the kids have more trouble getting work.
What do you call it? Where you take the rope, string beans for string. Did that.
Pole beans,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I picked pole beans
No,
too.
but we used to string.
Oh,
string.
string them up.
Mm.
You did that, yeah. Yeah, and then one day Claire said to me, I think I make you more money than I cost you. I said, okay. I took
I
her
was
up
in
on it.
5th grade.
Yeah, she was not a grade school yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she actually said to me, and she was making, they were making their tuition, well, they didn't have to pay tuition at St.
And so
Boniface.
she let me do
They
it.
had to pay tuition when they went to Regis,
And then
but they didn't at St.
Figured I-
Boniface, we didn't
I
have
was
any
giving her too
tuition.
much and I could do
So I
better.
said, okay, you wanna try it? I said, we'll pay medical bills and your board and room, and
Paid everything else.
and you can take care of the other stuff.
I would have rented her space in the house.
I think we bought your books at school too, the necessities we probably, but, and then when Grandma was here, I had to show her how to give a shot because
I was in 5th
I
grade.
was so tied down with
I gave more
giving these morphine shots to my
At
mother.
5th grade.
Oh, wow.
It was only Ernie and I that could do it, and I was,
Your
Why
mother
did-
was sick?
Why did you have morphine?
she had heart
trouble.
She had-
And they just gave, she got addicted, I'm sure.
Painful kind.
Hmm.
And
Every
she
day
was-
you had to give her morphine shot?
Whenever she asked for them, we give them to her. She asked for
I
them.
That's probably qualified.
Give them in her thigh.
Well, you know what our doctor told us then? He said your mother is, the main thing is to keep her comfortable.
Mm.
You know,
I don't
she
think she
wasn't
was
actually,
in pain. I
she-
think she just got
How
addicted.
old was she at this point?
well, I'd have to look that up.
She
too.
eventually went off of them though, because when she went to the Marion home, she didn't have them.
Oh, I gave her some up there the nuns didn't know about.
How did you get the morphine?
Okay,
Look at it.
okay, let's turn that thing off. We're doing a little bit too much.
I better not be putting that on tape.
That's exactly the kind of thing we want on there.
How did you get the morphine?
It was in her cupboard,
so
unlocked.
Oh my gosh, she went in the cupboard and...
Claire, she was driving to Salem, there was this guy she would meet at night.
Come on.
Make the-
No, she said she went in their cupboard up there and got it. Can you imagine today? She'd have been nailed.
Well, that's the phone
Well,
like
they
that.
wouldn't keep it controlled.
She wanted to keep her mother comfortable.
You were well taught. You knew what to do for mom, right?
Yeah.
I didn't give her very many, but if she asked for one when I was up there, I'd just sneak in there and film them. I don't know where the needle
Was your dad, had your dad already passed away by then?
Yeah.
When did he die? Oh, it's
It's
in
in the
here,
red
isn't
book.
it?
Yeah, you got it there and there's someplace. He died when Clara was a baby. I had her in my arms.
Oh, yeah?
and I went over. Yeah, I know when he died.
What did,
I
do you
went
know-
over the day he was
where did they move from here? When you moved into this
that little
house?
house over there. Dad built that
Oh.
house
Is
too.
that from his journal?
And that's where he died over there.
Oh.
He had pneumonia and, of course, the heart took him at the end.
Yeah.
but-
Who, Grandpa?
Grandpa. And you were in my arms, I went over with you, and he says, oh, here's Genevieve. Now, he never called me Genevieve, but this was right before he died. He said,
What did
here's
he call you?
Genevieve and her Claire. I got kicked
How old
out of the
was
way. Well, you were in my arms, I was carrying you, I guess you were under a year or someplace in there. October, I don't think you were a year old yet. Or somewhere in there, she was a small baby. Dad died. Then my mother lived there about a month, and she says, I'm coming back and living with you.
Oh, yeah?
She didn't ask either. She just said, I'm coming and living with you.
Well, what
Ah.
did your dad call you, if he didn't call you Nanny?
Jenny?
I don't know what he called me. I never heard that name from him, Genevieve.
Oh,
Probably Jenny.
Jim.
I don't know what he called me. Probably hey you, huh? I don't know. I
Did
don't-
she live with you until she moved away?
Well, she lived with me until I got pregnant with Jim.
I
Mm.
think Jimmy did it. Get rid of her.
She's like 9 kids.
We got her up into the, no, she went with my sister Clara after.
Mm.
She went up to the Marion home up here, and then she took my sister Clara, and she wanted to go home with somebody. She
Mm.
always wanted to go home. She wanted to come here all the time. But Clara fell for her, and my sister Clara took her in Portland, and then my sister Christy helped her take care of my mother.
And
And
then
now
she went to
Grandpa's-
Ann- Then she came back here and went to Aunt Ann's.
Then she broke her hip up there. She fell and broke her hip.
Mm.
That's
A lot of them do that. And then they brought her back to the Marion home, because she was,
But she went to Aunt Ann's too, I know.
yeah, she was at my sister Ann's for a while too. They all had her except Mary and Christy. Christy helped Clara.
And Grandpa Ernie's mom
Ernie's
lived for
mom
quite a
died.
while, right?
Oh, tell him about what,
She
she
died.
married an older man, but listen to what, there's music on that side too.
Oh, I think I told Chris that story, but
About
maybe
how
I
he
don't know
used
if I
to
told him
put her
on
on
the
that-
tape.
I don't think not on the tape.
He was running the Riester store, you know. He had that when he married on the Riester. She was a young girl, and he used to stand her up on the counter in his store and have her sing for him.
Oh.
She had a good singing voice too. She sang in the choir.
Ah.
And eventually there was a romance there. Eventually they got married.
And how much older was he?
Well, if we figure out the birth dates, we can figure out how much older he was.
It was quite a.
Yeah.
Well, she was 1888 and he was 1871. So how many years is that? That's 17 years.
17 years.
He was 17 years older?
Mhm.
Oh,
And she was,
We need one.
what year,
And-
what year they got married?
Hold on a second.
Yeah, she was young.
Can we
She was
stop for a
young,
little bit?
and
This
that's the
picture
reason
will come on.